So welcome to another episode of Make Some Noise with Doug De Jong. And tonight, being Wednesday for women, we have some awesome female artists here, original artists from all around, well, just Australia and New Zealand today. So we got people cut from the north of Brisbane and very, very south of Brisbane and also very, very east of Brisbane. So here, and also please like and subscribe. I better turn this on the first time. Here we go. Make Some Noise. That's the name of the show. There we go. And please like and subscribe all the artists who are on tonight. So here we go. Let's get the girls on. So hello, Shana. How are you? Karen
Hello.
from New Zealand. Snez, how are you?
Hello.
Hi. And Lucy. So who wants to go first? I might make Ray go first if you want to tell us what you do and how you do it. Here we go.
Yeah, sure. What do I do? I'm a singer-songwriter. And how do I do it at the moment? Just at home. But I work with other people just via online, other instrumentalists and mastering musicians. And I write original music and perform it and release it online. But I'm relatively new to releasing my music and performing it. So I've been writing for probably over 10 years, but it took me a long time to get the confidence to share it. So I've now started releasing it. I've got an EP that has just finished being recorded, so now I'm just going to work out how I'm going to release that. But I'm really excited to meet some more original female artists to share some wisdom tonight who have been doing it for a bit longer.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Okay, I'm looking forward to it. There we go. And maybe next, Snez. Here we go.
Hello, Snez. My name's Snez. It's my real name.
Wow.
Yes, often get called Sneeze and Schnoz and all sorts of other stupid things. I still haven't found anything that's a little bit original yet. But I'm from the mid-north coast in a little beachy town called Valor. I've been performing and writing songs for about 15 years. I've released 4 albums and I've got a new one on the way in October being released. I'm working on that at the moment. So COVID came at a good time. It made me sit down and get focused with the recording.
Wow. Well, welcome to the panel. And next we have Karen. Here we go, Karen. Mm-hmm. All the way in New Zealand. How are you, Karen?
I'm really good. It's good to be here. Thank you for inviting me. Yes, my name is Karen Davey, and I have been singing and writing songs for, believe it or not, 49 years.
49 years. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I've won 5 songwriting. I've got 5 songwriting awards. And
wow.
I actually started when I was 11 and wrote my first song, and it was the teacher was so impressed with me that they made me sing it to every class at primary school. And so from then on, I started writing songs. And so I perform my songs. You had L.A. Thompson on last night, I believe.
Yes.
And she has been encouraging me forever to get my songs out, and
wow.
And I'm really good at lyrics, really good at lyrics, but it takes me ages to actually really get a good commercial tune to go with my songs. Yep. But I'm singing all over New Zealand. I'm part of a duo called Toucan. And I also have a 7-piece band, sound crew, and we also do a tribute to Fleetwood Mac. So.
Oh wow! Oh, you look, wow. There. Well, welcome. So I might just get Shana up. So here we go, Shana. How are you going, Shana?
Hello.
Do you want to about what you do and where you might do it?
Yes. Okay. I currently run a business called Tweed Creative Studios. I built this business from the ground up, and we sell instruments and do tuition. We have 12 teachers, rehearsal rooms, etc. A lot of accessories and guitars and amps. Now, I've been playing and singing since I was in my 20s. I won't say how old I am now, but I've done a lot of gigs over a lot of years.
Wow.
I've never really released anything, but I'm working on an album right now with Benny Cook, And
Yep.
I'm really excited because it's quite electronic and it's out of the bag for me because I'm a soul blues singer. So it's something very different, and I'm really excited about it. It's going to be released, I think, this year. And it's, you know, like, it's very hard to run a business of any type, let alone an actual business premises. And also write music and play music and rehearse on top of all of that.
Of course.
And doing the gigs too. So, so that's a little bit about me. I've run many bands.
Yeah, right. Cool. Well, thank you for that. Well, thank you for being on. And we're just going to go to Lucy now. So here we go to Lucy. Hey, Lucy,
Hello.
how are you? Thanks for coming on the show.
Oh, I can see me in the reflection behind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I was confused. I was like, what is that? Yeah. So yeah, sorry, continue.
You go.
Oh, okay. I'll just tell you about myself. I'm a singer-songwriter, a multi-instrumentalist, producer.
Wow.
Kind of a one-woman band in a sense. I play a few instruments at once, and yeah, just a solo artist as well. And I've toured all over the world. I've played all over the world, all over Europe, Mexico, South America, North America, and a bit of Asia, and some places I've forgotten. And I play a lot on the street, but I also do major festivals. Like I've done Glastonbury a couple of times and Blues Fest about 5 times. And last year I had my album release on the main stage, Mojo stage on Blues Fest, Byron Bay. So that was a real highlight. And yeah, and in 2017 I played solo at Glastonbury Festival, which was amazing. And then I tour all over the world, and now since COVID I've been doing a lot of online concerts from my house, which has been really cool too. So yeah, I just do a bit of everything.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So let me bring everyone back here. So thanks for the intros. Whoa. So heaps and heaps and heaps of talent on tonight. This is fantastic. So we got Ray, who's just starting out, and then all the way up to Karen with 49 years. That's amazing. So maybe the first question, and we'll just go around, and what motivated you to do what you do? So maybe we start with Ray. What motivated, being the newest kid on the block, so to speak, what motivated you to be a rock star?
Well, that was a childhood dream, really, isn't it?
Fair enough.
It's either that or an air hostess. No, I think for me, music was a compulsion. I had a pretty rough start, and music was my natural way of dealing with emotional trauma and just expressing myself. So it wasn't something that I was like, I'm going to be a rock star. It was like, I'm feeling something, and when I sit down at the piano and I play and I sing, it feels good and it comes out and it makes me feel better. So music's always made me feel better. Singing makes me feel better. And that's why I've done it for so long. And writing diaries and lyrics and songwriting, I don't know, kind of just happened naturally for me. Unlike lyrics, I'm probably more of a hook and melody person. I'm the one, like when I sing songs, people always say that they just get caught in people's heads. So I've discovered lately by doing workshops that that's my strength. And why did I release it? I think I used to be too afraid that it wasn't going to be good enough, and I had like self-worth issues. And I didn't want to be judged. And then I've got 3 kids, and I just wanted to be able to show them that if you have a dream, you should pursue it no matter what, and don't have any regrets. And I didn't want to be a hypocrite and tell them to do it, but then not do it myself. So it was a bit of a kick in the butt to actually record my music and just see what happens and actually share my art with other people.
Well said, well said. And if we go to Snez, here we go, unmuted there. Is what motivated you about being a rock star?
Yeah, I don't know. It kind of all evolved organically. I guess I started late in the music industry. I was kind of in my 20s. I came from an upbringing that was, that wasn't into the arts. They just wanted me to have a job, and get married and have children, which is pretty reasonable. That's what you do, but it's not something that I wanted to do. And I don't know. I guess I wanted to be able to express. I was always writing, whether it was prose or songwriting, and wanted a way to express myself, and songwriting seems to be the way that I can actually talk to people and send a message out there for, if I've got an important message to tell, I can do it through songwriting. Whereas if I'm having a normal conversation with someone, I can't really talk properly. So, it's just been a journey, and it's been 15 years of learning, and you think you get to a point and then you haven't reached it.
Right.
So it's always a learning curve.
Yeah, well said. And it's great hearing all these different perspectives of why we're starting. And over to Karen in New Zealand. So
yeah. First of all, I'd like to say, Ray, you don't even look old enough to have 3 children.
Oh, right. Oh, sorry.
True.
Yes, I've got three daughters as well, and 3 stepchildren as well. They're all adults now, 8 grandchildren, 1 great grandson. So in between, all of doing, bringing up children and 2 marriages and grandchildren, I was a bit like Ray too. I had I always wrote my songs from my heart, from experiences, and I sang at all the the family parties, and I taught myself guitar. I would watch someone playing a guitar somewhere, and I would just study their hand and taught myself to play, and it was pretty bad actually for a number of years. But I could write a song if I could play 3 chords on the guitar basically, and then I won my first songwriting song called Sky Dust when I was 15, and then you get into the 20s, you're raising kids, and so the music was still there, but I had to sacrifice that to bring up my kids, and so I didn't really start playing in bands and lots of cover bands and adding a few of my original songs, until I was 29 years old, and so in some ways I was a bit like Snares, and so it was a bit of a late, getting a career up and running, and so since then. Like Lucy, I've been all over the place too. I've been, sung in Las Vegas and done Australia. I've done, all of, done with a guy called Tony Martin, who was a wonderful guitarist over in Sydney, and done 9 tours with him. And, I've just sung in Norfolk Island. I've done all sorts of places. Not as many as Lucy though. I'd love to do the countries you've been to, but. Yes, and I'm really in it now. I'm really
That's good.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. We've got people messaging from all over the place. The first time I've had people tuning in from India. This is fantastic. I actually had a track on one of my records go to number 13 in Indian iTunes charts, which was really weird because I've never been to India and I've never advertised it. But anyway, true story.
Nice.
So if we go to Shana, what motivated you to get into being a rock star?
I always had an interest in music from a young age. I grew up in the hills, no electricity, and I very quickly learned how to sing because there was not much else to do.
Right.
However, it was something that I really, really loved doing. And when we did eventually get electricity, my parents had this whole huge collection of vinyl that they collected from America in the 60s. And I grew up with Miles Davis and all these amazing musicians. And I think it just got imprinted into my brain. And by the time I started, I would have been about 20 when I started performing live, and that was mainly thank you to Steve Gilpin from My Sex, who's now passed on. He jumped me up onto stage the first time ever, and it was all go from there. I think it was 1988, I think my first band started, and that was in Byron Bay, a band called Streetwise, which people still actually know of, and I'm quite amazed because it was such a long time ago. It was all original music, and I still to this day prefer original music. Look, I love covers, and I love when people can really make a cover shine and make it their own. But
Yep. Okay.
original music is amazing, and that's what I
Yeah.
love doing.
Be an advocate for that. That's awesome.
Mm.
And over to, sorry if I'm not looking at the screen. I'm trying to multitask and I'm just crap at it. But anyway, I'm trying my best. I'm sharing and like doing all this at the same time. So over to Lucy. What that was a great intro. Then the Glastonbury, I can't even say it, Berry Festival. That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. Like, but anyway, what motivated, we'll come back to that story, but what motivated you to do this? This is amazing.
Well, I've had a pretty crazy life. I left home at 14, and 15 I started traveling around Australia by myself, and I ended up in Tasmania at a festival when I was 15 called Jackie's Marsh, and I didn't play any instruments at that point. And I was sitting around the campfire and I saw this girl playing a guitar and she was singing her own original song. And I was like, I want to do that. So I gathered the little money I had and I went and brought myself like a child's guitar. That's all I could afford. And I just started teaching myself chords and just started, found it really easy to write songs. It just came really naturally to me. So I just, I didn't have like the influences of the radios around me, and because I was traveling and kind of like being a gypsy and like living in the forest or wherever I was, just living wherever I was, just moving around all the time.
It's like a Smurf.
Yeah, like a Smurf.
I live in the forest.
Yeah, well, like I was like in people's house, meeting different people and like traveling around and staying with them in different countries and stuff, being a Smurf, as you do. And yeah, I just like could write songs all of a sudden. And so like I didn't really have that many influences. I just had influence of people I would meet or different cultures that I would be around, and that's how I started music. And so for me, like it's never been about playing covers, because I didn't start by playing covers. I started by writing my own songs, and so for me it is really easy to write. It's way easier for me to write and play my own songs than to sing covers. I don't feel comfortable doing covers at all. So yeah, when I do my gigs, I'm always like, no covers. Don't ask me for covers. Ask me for my original songs. I play those. So yeah, that's how it started for me. And then I just, because I love traveling anyway, it just kind of like evolved as, how am I going to make money? Oh, I'll start playing music. I started with the drum as well. I played the drum, and I just started busking all around the world, and it just started getting better and better by like a necessity as well, like having to make money that way, but not having to. I enjoyed it, and then I saw what songs worked with the crowd, what would pull in the crowd and what wouldn't. So it was a really good, I feel like busking's been my hardest and best stage as well, like to learn and to grow as an artist. So I still busk. I love busking. It's like my main thing. So that's my story.
I'm glad. No, that's great. I'm glad you said busking, because that is, as you just said there, how to draw a crowd and keep a crowd. Because you know, sometimes busking, you know, you only have them for 30 seconds, but you have 3 seconds to make an impact and make them want to stay and listen. So you're actually learning the ropes of show business, you know, straight away. You've got to have something to watch. So Ray, if we go straight over to show and tell of some script musically. So I don't know if you've got a record, or I think you're on mute there as well, or you've got your guitar there or something, or maybe a new, I know you've released like just anything that you've done musically, you know, of that you may have released a new song or something like that. What have you done?
Yeah, I released a single last month called Sleepless Nights that I co-wrote 5 years ago.
Wow.
Alan Caswell at a singer-songwriter retreat in Tamworth.
Wow.
But so like that's my, I've released 3 songs of all time, and they were all this year, January, February, and May. So yeah, I've kind of dipped my toes in the water, and then I'm still working out the next steps. I've done the writing of the songs and recording, I've got mastering to do, and then I've got to work out the rest. So I've got like photo shoots and music videos and all that stuff that I'm really just learning about. That's kind of my next steps, and working out. I'm kind of a bit stumped. I kind of knew that I was out practicing and doing open mics and just gigging as much as possible before everything shut down. And the whole idea was to do an EP or a mini album or something, and then, you know, have a launch party and then tour. And it's like, but we're not doing that anymore. So now what do you do? I don't know. It's
right. So that's where you're at.
Answer for that, but yeah.
That's cool. Also, and Snez, have you got any? I don't know. Do you do live looping, or do you do any guitar? Maybe do you have a guitar there?
No, I'm probably like a I do have my guitar here, but yeah, probably like I wouldn't say a traditional folk singer, but a singer, songwriter, storyteller. So a large part of my shows is storytelling, and I'd say my strongest thing about me is my live shows, and it's where I'm able to kind of express myself and tell my story and my legacy. And it's where I'm comfortable. And I guess I'm working on my next album, which it's been a few years since the last one, and it's been it's just every album's a growing. You grow with each album, with
right.
each song that you write. So I don't know. I do have my guitar here. I wasn't expecting to play a song, but I can play a song. So
yeah. Well, you don't have to play, but I'm just interested. As you can see around my studio, I've got guitars everywhere here. But
well, I play an acoustic. Like it's a hybrid classical guitar, and I also play the bouzouki, but that's kind of more like a little feature performance in my live shows, because I feel like when you do an hour show, you've got 1 hour to entertain and be a show person, and that includes your patter and your storytelling in your songs, but it also includes the visual, the way you present yourself visually. And sometimes just playing the guitar and singing for 45 minutes to an hour is boring as batshit. They sing the same visual, you sing the same visual thing, and sometimes it's really nice to switch instruments or play the drum or play a different instrument. And I kind of work a lot on how to create ups and downs and threads throughout my live shows. So I'm pretty passionate about perfecting my live performances.
Yeah, that's awesome. Very, very interesting. So I guess, anything else? So anything else in the works? Just the record? Are you recording it at home, or are you doing it anywhere?
Yeah, my partner and I have a recording studio here at the house, and so we're recording at home. It's a professional studio, so we've been working on it for over a year now. But with COVID, it's kind of it really has made me focused. I've stopped gigging, and it's made me focus on the album, which is really important for me. I've got a couple of film clips that I'm working on as well to release ahead of the album coming out in October. And I just do monthly blogs, video blogs with live songs and talking about the songs from my album, and that pretty much keeps me busy.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And just before we go to the Karen, Ray, do you have to jet? You got to go do what you got to do?
Thanks for inviting me on, Ray.
Thanks. See you, Ray.
If you're around there, jump back on shortly. Okay, so over to Karen. So you got any guitar or, I don't know, whatever you might have there? Any records? Do you have any memorabilia or something that's cool that might have to do?
Okay, well, all my trophies are are out in my lounge. I've got 27
wow.
to my name for singing, and but I do record. I have my backing tracks made in Nashville, and for the songs that I write, and I also have muso mates here in Auckland that are world class musicians, and they if I need some help, then they step in and give me a hand as well, which is what I've been doing lately. But I have been for a few years now writing a gospel album because here in New Zealand it's really tough to get a hit song. We get told we'll play your songs on the radio if you get a hit song in America, and so a lot of New Zealanders have actually left New Zealand. I guess who Neil Finn is.
Yeah, Crowded House and Split Ends. Yeah.
Now Fleetwood Mac. He's with Fleetwood Mac. And of course, you've got Dragon and Crowded House, and they all had to go to Australia to actually really, 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 really make their name. And,
Keith Urban.
Yes, absolutely. Keith Urban.
Russell Crowe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, but there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people here, and I really appreciate the older generation.
Yeah.
And the older generation, honestly, I'm sure every single one of you would agree with me that the older generation absolutely, totally appreciate and listen to your songs. And younger people like them too. But I've got a song that I released last week through LA Thompson, who was on the show last night.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I'm just messaging her now, actually. Yeah.
Right. Okay. That song was called "Enough." How come you're multitasking?
Mate, I'm amazing. Just ask me.
And then last year I released through LA Thompson another song called "Just Like the First," and when I was really little, a little like a child, and watching the old movies on the Sunday afternoon, the matinees at home with all us kids. I've got 4 brothers and sisters, and I used to watch these movies, and I remember when I was growing up some of the neat movies and what was in them and the stories, and some of those songs came from those watching those movies. And then a lot in my adulthood came from experiences, life experience. Because sometimes they're the best, and if you're having a sad time, everyone wants to hear your song because they want to be able to identify with you as well. So,
yeah, that's great.
But I've got a Maton guitar. I was the first one in New Zealand to get an off-white coloured Maton.
Awesome.
Beautiful sound. That they come from Melbourne, and I love it. I've had it for 21 years, and then 2 weeks ago, for my birthday, my husband he bought me a Alvarez, which is an American guitar, and Santana played one, Crosby, Stills and Nash they played Alvarez.
Oh wow!
Johnny Cash had one. There's just a stream. I had never actually heard of the guitar beforehand, but it's got the most beautiful bottom end sound, and it just resonates. It's beautiful.
Yeah, wow, that's awesome. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And what's that? Sorry.
I am a perfectionist, and so I like to really make sure, as anyone would know, I'm sure every muso is a perfectionist in some way.
Yeah, well, it's great you went to Nashville to get those tracks done. That's awesome. Yeah, wow. And Shana,
yes,
do you have any I don't know, records in the making or anything else? Any cool things in the pipeline?
Yeah, as I said before, I'm sort of working on an album.
Yep. To make some more art. Oh,
Crime.
Are you still with us? Okay. Yep.
We haven't titled it yet, but our new band name is Electric Waterhead. Electric Waterhead. That's our new band name.
Okay.
I'm doing a live stream with Benny on a Sunday at 5 p.m. on the original Sound Lounge with Pam Harder.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that
very, very good.
Yeah, that should be fun. 5 o'clock on Sunday, Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah.
And so just working on that album at the moment. And also, I've been doing a lot of live streams lately just to sort of try and keep my head out there and try and keep the business alive, because we've lost 75% of our business. And we're running on a very small thread at the moment. And so while we sort of keep doing that live streaming, I've got a great studio here. I haven't had a lot of people taking it up, actually. I'm quite surprised because it's free. And, it actually cost me $40 an hour to run that studio. So,
wow, that's amazing.
If I'm the one using it, I can't complain. I'm happy about that.
There's a question for you, Shana. How'd you get your band name?
It was half generated on the internet, on the band generated names. And then we just added the electric to it.
There we go. And okay, over to Lucy.
Thanks,
yeah, that's cool. What have you got? Well, I think the question has sort of morphed itself, but anyway,
probably.
Yeah, like anything you might be. Oh, what are you working on at the moment? Where is it at the moment?
Well, I released my new album last year, so I'm still promoting that because I had something kind of bad happened to me last year where I kind of like got cut off, so I couldn't really promote my album.
Oh,
But now I'm back to like
is
just
it controversial?
promoting.
Was it controversial? What happened? Or
No, it's just sad. Like my mother passed away.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Sorry
I
to hear.
just kind of like went off track with
Of
my
course.
music and everything, and I just kind of like shut off from the world, and I've only just started getting back out there again. So I was in Europe at the time, and I was touring and I'm promoting the album, and then I just kind of like forgot about it. But now I'm like back out, like, so it's kind of like a new album really, because and it's I produced it myself. I played every instrument, and it's called Darkness to Light, and it's got 14 tracks on it, and I'm pretty proud of it. And I did a crowdfunding campaign, and I raised like $12,000 to do like to get it out there and everything. Yeah, and
that's
so
amazing.
I've done a music video in LA that I haven't finished yet because of everything that happened, but I'm going to release that soon. And a lot of people that have heard it are giving me some good feedback, so that's nice. So that's my most recent thing. But I feel like I'm going to start producing some new singles soon.
Yeah. Because that was going to be my next round of questions, is that what should an original artist focus on? Is it just the music? Because I mean, here's my record, blah blah blah. May as well do a plug as well. So Post Traumatic Express. So I'll talk to you about that afterwards, Lucy. But that's it's pretty deep actually. It's 2 years worth of work. Instrumental guitar. Steve Vai's producer actually mastered it, because I'm a bit of a shredder of sorts. Anyway, enough about me though. But as an original artist, what do you spend your money on? So obviously, do you spend your money on recording? What do you spend your money on making? And this day, you have to have a video, right? Because if you don't have video, how does anyone see you? Because most of it's visual stimulus. Or do you spend your money on marketing? Or actually, what do you spend your money on? Maybe Snez, if you want to answer that.
Yeah, I suppose it depends where you are in the music industry. I'm very much a grassroots artist, so the money is not flowing. I'm pretty lucky. I can live the dream, and I'm doing my original music, touring and playing pretty regularly pre-COVID. But still, the money's not flowing where you can actually pay for promotion and that kind of thing. So I guess my money goes into manufacture of actual CDs. Is a lot where it comes from. Facebook advertising, that kind of grassroots advertising. That's, I don't have to pay for studio because we've got the studio at home. So that cuts a lot of the costs down for me.
Right.
And, and as an independent artist, you wear many hats. You're the graphic designer. I do the promo, and we do the music at home. So, I cut a lot of costs. My main cost, as I say, would be poster promotion and online advertising, print press, and then the actual physical CD. And I don't know how long CDs will actually last for, because, in all my touring days, I used to make a lot of money from CD sales. And now I noticed in the last, say, year or so that my CD numbers are going down. So it's going in another direction. So that's something else we have to think about.
Yeah, right. And I've got 2 questions here for you, Snez. Does anyone spend their money on original cover album art? Have you ever paid an artist to design something, Snez?
No, I haven't. I taught myself how to use Photoshop and from the beginning, and I do my own artwork. I get the templates from the manufacturer, and I just do everything myself, from poster design to the CD layout and artwork. It's just what I have to do as an independent artist, because no one else is going to do it, and unfortunately, I probably wouldn't be happy with anyone else doing it, because you know where it's coming from and you know the direction you want to go. and I'm just a control freak.
At least you're honest. And here's another one from Licia. Are you on Spotify?
Yep.
You are on Spotify?
Yeah, I am on Spotify. Yep. I've got an album there on Spotify.
Okay, cool.
My last album. Yep.
You can name drop it if you like, whatever it's called.
Oh yeah. So the last album was Hell on 4 Wheels. That's on Spotify at the moment.
Oh, there we go. Awesome. Okay, and then over to Karen. So, what do you spend your money on promoting your music? Video, audio, maybe merchandise? Because Snez actually brought up a couple of cool things.
Yeah. Well, because I here in New Zealand, I discovered quite a long time ago that doing a whole album of originals was a toughie. And so what I've done, all the albums that I've done have got covers, but I always throw in 2 or 3 originals, and have always got away with getting them out that way to the public. I haven't found CD sales drop at all, and at festivals sell a lot. I usually, I think the last festival I sold about 63 CDs, and of course at festivals, you don't get paid much to play at festivals. In fact, in New Zealand, you get paid zilch. You get your accommodation, and a little bit of petrol money, which is great because it's like a forced weekend away of just amazing music everywhere. And so whenever I take a band, I always sell my CDs and split the money between the bands, so the band get paid because they're wonderful creatures.
Wow.
And, but I have, unless I put out a single, which is what I've been doing with LA Thompson here in New Zealand, at a time, then doing covers. And I can do country and classic rock and whatever. I've got quite a few albums that I've done, and I just put in a few of my own, and sometimes just one, and it's enough.
And what do you spend your money on, like making records or making videos or traveling?
Well, I've got my own recording studio here at home. It's called Presence Studio.
Oh.
And
very good.
Yep. And it's it's a little amateur, but I get the sound that I want.
I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm actually in my studio at the moment, and my duo partner Ken Strong from New Zealand. We're a duo called Toucan, and today we've been just pre-recording a show for Facebook because we couldn't in COVID. We couldn't. Do anything as a duo because we were living in separate houses. So, so we just really wrapped to be able to do something now. But I don't know. We had 80 gigs coming up, till the end of the year, and I don't know when we're going to get back into.
Yeah, right.
A lot of places have said they're not opening now till the end of the year.
Little while, yeah.
Yeah, that's so. Money-wise, I think that musos are very poor people. Even though we always manage to get a guitar, and then we always manage to get the strings that we need and a few things that we need. I mean, but basically musicians are poor beggars. So it's wonderful to go and be able to do to sing and even busk. I love busking. That's really cool.
Yeah, wow.
More than I get money thrown into the guitar case, But,
yeah.
And that's here we go.
Here we go. Really, you have so many ups and downs, Karen, Davey, in your life, or earning money, feeling so much about you. That's awesome.
Poor Karen.
Hey, I think this person's in India. Yeah. So Karen is in New Zealand. So that's awesome. I say over to. The questions are piling in for Lucy here. So, but over to Shana. What do you spend your money on promoting in music?
Look, I think it's an even bag. You just need to, I do all my own designing, so that sort of takes a little bit of expense out. But I like to pay the musicians if I can. So I try and sort of earn a bit of a budget, put a budget together, and then, half on the music itself and particularly the mastering, because the mixing and the mastering. Hi, Licia. I love you too. So I think, a little bit on the promoting, a little bit on putting the album together, a little bit on the designing. And, I think ultimately we'd love to spend 10 grand on our album plus, you
Right.
know, but it's just sometimes we don't have that kind of money to be able to put together something like that. So at the moment, I'm just working with Benny. And
There you go.
yeah, exactly. That what Licia just said.
All right.
And Benny's got his own little home studio. We've been working together on that to save costs, and he's doing a fabulous job, and I'm really, really, really proud of him. So, and when I am actually saving up money right now so that we can manage to go over to Brian Z in LA and get him to master it for us, we'll be stoked.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so over to Lucy. I might just start with this question.
Yeah.
Sorry, it buries you there a bit, Lucy. I'll read it to you. It says, Lucy Gallen, are you with a label, or have you ever been with a label? Well done for having over 27,000 hits on Freaky on Spotify. Can you give any tips on how you did this apart from talent, of course? So you want to maybe answer that question first?
No, I'm not on a label, and no, I've never been on a label. I'm not really sure how it happened.
Well done. Well done.
The Spotify plays. I just looked one day and it was like that. I think I just put myself out there a lot. A lot of people know who I am because I just work really hard. I've made this my life, like you guys too, obviously. And yeah, I've just worked really hard and promoted myself a lot and play like all over the world, like I said. So a lot of people know who I am, but I don't know, that song just seemed to blow up on Spotify. So
Is it a video as well with the song, or
I have got a video for that song as well, on YouTube. That song's called Freaky. Yeah, you can find it on YouTube, the video. Freaky,
Okay.
Lucy Gallant. Yeah.
And what do you spend your money on, Lucy, as an independent artist? What do you value the most?
Yeah, well, with the crowdfunding money, I've spent it on flying to LA, doing the video.
There's a USA
Mastering.
listener now. Jenny's from the States. So.
Yeah, USA, in LA, USA. Mastering the album. I spent money on publicist. Because for the first time I could actually afford these things, doing the crowdfunding. So I was like, I'm going to get a publicist.
Oh, right. Okay.
I did that. I spent money on getting 2,000 CDs made, which I've never been able to do before. I was just like, wow, I could actually do these things. I've got money for this. So yeah, I spent it on all those things. It all adds up really fast. Merchandise, promotion, Facebook promotion, publicist, videos add up. All that adds up, even though I produced and mixed and played pretty much every instrument apart from the trumpet on my album.
Wow, that's awesome.
Still cost all the crowdfunding money to promote it and do all these other things, So yeah, it's expensive to release an album. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but it can be as well.
Yeah. So with that crowdfunded marketing, what would you call it, program, did that take a while to raise that kind of coin? Or?
I think I did it in 1 month. I had a time limit, so I think I gave myself 4 weeks because it was raise it all or lose it all kind of thing.
Oh, well done.
Yeah. And I wanted to raise 10,000, but I got 14,000, I think it was at the end or something like that. And I was so scared to do it. My friend, who I was working at the time, he was kind of like my assistant, that kind of thing. So he was like, you should do the crowdfund. And I was like, no, I don't want to do the crowdfunding campaign. And no one's going to who would give me money? I was just like, no one's going to want to give me money. But it just it was, wow. I worked really, I work really hard at things when I have to. So I was like,
yep.
All right, I'm going to do this. I don't want to look like a loser and not get anything. So I just did all this every day. I would put a thermometer of how much I've made each day, it's going up. And then I'd do promotions. If you put money in today, I will paint you a picture of your spirit angel, or you'll get a special your tarot reading. I would do all these different deals, and it worked really well. And people were really behind me because they'd put in, and then they didn't want to see me fail, and then more people would join. And it was the more people that were joining, the more wanted to join. It's kind of it was really amazing to feel that kind of community behind me that I didn't realize I had. So yeah, it's really good to face your fears. So that was one of my fears. And
That's amazing. That's amazing. Like really, different way of raising money, and if I guess people putting money into it, they would have a sense of ownership, right? So
yeah. So
Yeah,
I already had all these CDs sold before that was part of the deal. Buy a CD before it's made.
wow, that's amazing. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
that was cool.
So, wow, mind blown. So let's go straight to rock and roll stories, because I know, Snez, we've got you on for a little bit longer. That's really cool.
Yep.
Oh yeah, so
Yep.
that's the future there. Jenny is a guitarist in the States. Snez, so rock and roll story. What's the biggest, worst, most embarrassing story you can think of?
Oh, I've
gotta
been
be funny.
embarrassed many times. Over 15 years, I've been embarrassed many times. Played to furniture and all sorts of things. But I guess one of the most embarrassing things that's happened to me is I was playing just a random cover in between my originals, and that Simon and Garfunkel song "Feeling Groovy." Slow down, you move too fast.
My mum
And
used to
I
play
said,
that. Yeah.
Well, I just made an offhand comment at the beginning of the song. I said, this is a song I wrote when I was, a little bit younger, and I just made it as a joke. The audience caught on and they laughed. And at the end of that song, the MC came up and he said, "Oh, Snez, did you really write that song? What a fabulous song." And I thought he was joking and he was going along with my joke. And so I'm hamming it up and I'm going, "Oh, yeah, I was only, I would have been 10 years old when I wrote that song." And I'm just blabbing on like this. And he's looking at me like I'm a star. And it was the first time I ever felt that feeling of, someone being enamored by me. And so I just carried on. And then I realized, 10 minutes into this conversation that he actually believed it. The audience was starting to get really awkward. And then I'm getting awkward. And then I eventually had to say, "Look, mate, no, I didn't write the song. That was Simon and Garfunkel." And his face dropped. And I felt like such a loser, and the audience are just staring at me. And it was kind of my second last song before the set, and I slowly walked off the stage. It was so embarrassing.
Oh wow.
So I won't do that again.
Okay, yeah, have to understand the jokes. Yeah, right. And what about
you
Karen?
do have to.
Me?
Yeah.
I've had a couple of bloopers that have happened. I wrote a jingle for a foundation called the Kidney Kids, and then they asked me later on, because they're always fundraising for the charity, and they asked me if I would like to attempt the World Guinness record of singing for the longest time. And so I said, "Oh, okay, yeah.
A world record for singing.
Yeah, Guinness World Record." And
Wow.
Yep, when all did everything that we meant to do, it was really, really hard to do a World Guinness record because there are so many damn rules. And so I said, "Yep, okay." How long? Okay. He said 26 hours. I said, "Oh, okay, well, that's okay." I remembered in my younger years when I used to go to a nightclub and dance till 5 o'clock in the morning and then go home and go to work at 7. And
Oh wow, rock and roll.
And so I thought, right, I wonder if I could do that. Oh, it's only 26 hours, So that was all right. So the World Guinness Record people contacted, well, actually TV3. We had TV1, 2, and 3 here. TV3 got hold of me and said, "So you're doing this World Guinness Record?" And I said, "Yes." And they said, "Oh, okay. Well, how are you going to sing 38 hours?" And I went, "What?" And they said, "Oh, you've got to do 38 hours. It's the latest from World Guinness Records." And I'm thinking, oh my God. So I said, "Okay, I'll do my 26 hours, and anything over that would be a bonus." So the day came and World Guinness Records got in touch with me and said, "Are you still going to do this feat?" And I said, "Yes. Yep, we're going to go ahead with it." And I said, "Please tell me, how many hours do I have to sing?" Well, it was 48 hours, 46 hours, 29 seconds I had to beat. So I thought, oh my gosh. So I thought, right, I'll just do what I've got to do. And did the record and beat it, and had a little team that that did backtrack and all sorts of things, and the CEO from Kidney Kids did all the paperwork and sent it all off in a real dash of a rush because it was Christmas time.
No competition.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
never reached London, and he never took any copies.
Oh.
So,
You smashed the record.
Yep. So I said, oh, wow. Okay, well, we're going to have to do it again, aren't we?
Yeah.
So I did it again, and I sang for 48 hours and raised $27,000 for Kidney Kids.
Wow.
And
How did you do that?
Oh, it was so hard. At 18 hours, I nearly lost my voice.
That is
And
crazy.
One night, I was at the airport, right at the out of the airport. It was great because there were all these people coming in from all these different countries, and there was me just singing my little heart out. And at 18 hours, I was cold. And in an airport, you don't really know whether it's day or night outside because you're inside. And
It's like the casino. Yeah.
And so what had happened was I was getting cold. And so my team, someone give me a coat, someone give me a scarf. Every hour you got to have a 5-minute break, which meant you could go dash to the toilet, or every second hour you had the St. John's ambulance, doing all your, pricking your fingers, your blood levels and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
wow.
And so you didn't really get a break. And if you missed 1 second, it was gone. And
Wow,
so,
that's amazing.
Someone gave me a cup of tea, and I was kind of sipping in between songs. None of the songs could be more than 3 minutes long, and you couldn't have instrumentals in them. And so,
So do you still hold the record? Do you still hold the record?
no, I don't. Somebody over in another country has done it. It's probably been a few more since I did it, which was about 10 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was a biggie for me.
Yeah, wow. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
cool.
Well, congratulations. Okay, over to Shana. Oh, we've got someone in the background here. Hang on. Hello. Hey, John. I didn't see you there.
Okay, wait. Look. I've got the best cup.
I've got the best one.
I hope that's beer.
It is totally beer.
So we're just doing a rock and roll story. So Shana, what's your funniest story?
I've got two very short, funny stories. One
Yep.
was a 2-week residency at the Bundaberg Hotel. On the last night, the band decided to gaff me to my guitar.
Oh.
And
Wow.
I just at the time I was singing that song, Somebody Bring Me Some Water by Melissa Etheridge. And after they gaffed me, then they poured water all over me. So that was a very funny thing to happen. Probably more fun for them than for me. Especially cutting me off my guitar. The second story was a gig down in Ballina, and someone was being quite annoying, coming up and taking my tambourine off the stage and slamming it together in front of the stage out of time, and I got the shits after a while. Sorry. I got upset after a little while, and I had a Kramer guitar with a pointy headstock, sort of downways. And when he came up the second time, I just donked him on the head, and he just went running up the back of the stage. I never saw him again anyway.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, there's two of my sort of most favourite stories.
Wow, that's awesome. And Lucy, have we still got Lucy there? Is Lucy back? Are you there, Lucy?
Yeah, sorry, I had to get my charger.
Yeah, no problem. Someone's got like a TV on in the background somewhere. I don't know who that is. But so rock and roll story, Lucy, because you've been all over the world, so I'm sure you've probably got a cool one.
It's kind of a funny one. I think it was the first time I played at Glastonbury. Yeah, I can hear that TV. It's really weird.
I think it was on
the first time I
Saturday.
played at Glastonbury.
Oh, that's it.
I think it's you, Doug. It's you.
I don't know. I don't have a TV. Oh, that started. Thanks. Well, that's one strike for Lucy. Yeah, so what's your rock and roll story besides
Oh
turning?
yeah, so it was 2015, the first time I played at Glastonbury, and I used to be in a duo called Free Like Me with my boyfriend. We're no longer together or in the duo, but it was an amazing gig. It was like so much fun. We were there, but it was the last day. We were staying at our friend's house, parents who lived near Glastonbury, like after Glastonbury and before. So it was the last day of Glastonbury, and our friend, their son, was waiting. We went into like the teepee village, which is like the hippie part of Glastonbury, where everyone's on mushrooms and everything.
Like Smurfs.
Yeah, like the Smurf village. Yeah. So we went back to where I'm from, and they were like, "Do you guys want to?" We went into the teepee, like I don't know what it was called, some kind of weird stage, and everyone was in there, and with paint all over them and naked and stuff. And then they were like, "Do you guys want to play a set here?" And I was like, "Well, we've got to go because like his parents are waiting." And then Daniel, my ex, was like, yeah, we're going to play. Yeah, he doesn't care about other people's time, so it's all about his time. So we were like, okay, we're going to play. And I was like, oh, I don't think so, but yeah, okay, let's play. So then they set us up with this really dodgy kind of mic and everything, and we just started playing. And then people were really getting into it, and I was like in the front because I used to play the drum and sing, and he would play the guitar, and he was behind me a bit. And then I'm playing the drum, and then I'm like, and everyone's going crazy. And then I like, why is everyone, what's going on? I turn around and he's like completely naked. I'm like, what the hell? And then he's like all of a sudden like dancing into the crowd, and then he's like joining them, and everyone's like doing this big naked hug and everything. And I'm like, and then my friend's parents came in. Yeah, and then my friend's parents that were waiting for us came in, and I was like,
were they naked as well?
No, they were like,
okay,
because we're staying at their house. They came in waiting for us. Yeah, it was just really funny. It wasn't really embarrassing. It was just like, oh my god, what the hell? Because he wasn't the kind of guy to get naked. It was like really weird.
Must have been mushrooms.
He wasn't on them though, so I don't know what his excuse was.
We got a question there, Lucy. Where were you born?
I was born in London, in England.
Okay, and you didn't actually say where the Glastonbury Festival is.
Yeah, it's in Glastonbury. It's in near a town called Glastonbury in England. It's not actually in Glastonbury though. It's in England.
Oh,
it's the biggest festival it's like the most famous, biggest festival in the world.
And how did you get that gig? Because actually, keep going.
I was at this music conference in Melbourne.
Wow.
And I met, you meet everybody from different festivals, and it's like a showcase. And I met Malcolm, who books a certain area in Glastonbury. He was doing a speech there, a talk. And then I gave him my CD and I said, you have to listen to this. Promise me you're going to listen to this. And we kind of became friends, and I was like, you have to, he was like, okay, I promise I'll listen to it in the morning, not thinking anything. And then he put it on, and then I saw him the next day, and he was like, oh my God, I love your music. I wasn't expecting that. He actually said he wanted to manage me, and he was going to manage me, but that didn't work out. But I've played at Glastonbury a few times, and other festivals that he's worked at in England, like Beautiful Days, another one. It's quite a big festival in England. So yeah, that's how I met him at a showcase. Just like, you got to network. That's how I get, without a label or a manager. I do my own thing. I get out there and you make friends. You got to make friends with all these people. And
so I guess that's called direct marketing, when you use violence to say, hey, listen to my record.
Yeah, you got to be like cheeky, like, come on, listen to my CD. You have to, promise me. Otherwise they won't. They'll be a bit cheeky.
So Snez, I think I can hear like a TV or something on the background on your feed, Snez.
No, there's no TV.
No,
yeah,
Snez,
I don't think I've got. I don't have TV on.
It might be a is there another device on? Turn the sound down.
Oh, I've got my laptop. Hang on, I've got my laptop on. So let's see if that works.
Maybe
is that any better?
To it playing back.
That's it. Yeah, just turn the sound down.
Oh, it's still there.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so Pam, Pam's got a story about a rock and roll story. You want to tell that story again? You got showered by a few things.
Oh yeah, you know, there's that one. I've got loads of rock and roll stories actually. There's so we were at a pub in Freddo, and I was doing just a normal gig for me mate. We were doing it together, and my team was there, like a makeup artist and like the little stage crew and stuff. And we're singing away.
Oh, you got one too.
Yeah,
I don't have a makeup artist. It's cool. No.
And then then I got my period, like on stage. I know, we just wrapped up, and I'm like looking at my makeup artist, going, "Do you have a tampon?" Like a tampon, you know. I wasn't doing it quietly because it was in a pub and it was loud, but I forgot that the microphone was still on. So we just announced that to the whole tradie lady pub, and there's like full of tradies and obviously their wives, and so all the wives are like rummaging around in their purses and going, "Yeah, doll, I've got one here," and chucking them at the stage. And so I kind of just had to like make a beeline for the bathroom. And I was so embarrassed when I did it that I kind of didn't look what bathroom I was running into, and so not only did I get smashed with like a million tampons at the end of the set, but I did then run straight into the men's bathroom. I came like face to face with the tradie dude coming out, and he's like, "Oh," but he looked at me like, "Oh, you're one of those."
Oh, right, okay. Oh, no.
I think he thought I was like I had all of the parts.
Oh, there you go.
And so yeah, I don't think we played there again afterwards.
So I might change the subject, but so Snez, what? Maybe two more questions. We'll just go around. Are you still got 10 minutes?
Hear that?
Yeah, I can do two more questions.
Yeah,
What's
two more
that?
questions. Yeah.
You guys hear that noise still?
It's on Snez's feed, I think. Yeah, there we go.
Know what that's about?
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is about. But so what piece of advice that you wish you, or maybe I'll come back to the advice. What did you think, or what, maybe I should have thought about this first. What would you have liked to have known earlier in your career? What did you wish you knew early in the career?
Oh, geez, that's a difficult one.
Second last question.
Yeah, that's a bit tricky.
I wish I knew that there was like no rules in art.
I don't.
Well, I'll just do Snez for
Yeah. I guess.
What would you do differently?
Does someone else want to answer that? What
would you
I do differently? I don't know. I've always followed my own path. I've kind of always experimented with who I am as a performer, and I've never held back. So I've never been one to kind of follow trends. So I was never really that influenced by the industry. I'm not in the industry. I'm in the music scene, but not in the industry, I'd say. So I'm not that heavily influenced by that. I don't know. That's a bit tricky. I've got to think about that one. Because I feel like I've been very blessed and lucky to be living the dream, to be able to, play my music, my original songs, tour, and make money from touring with my own songs. And I don't know that there's anything that I would change from that. I can always improve and get better, but there's nothing in my past where I think I shouldn't have done that. I remember once in the early days when a manager came up to me and said he wanted to sign me up, but I had to change my hair color to be blonde, and I always knew who I was, so I just said no. And I've always been that way, and I've always followed my path, and I haven't always been that successful because I don't listen to people. I just follow my own my own path and what I feel that I should be doing. So I don't know, maybe I should listen to people. Maybe I should let someone else do my artwork.
And what's the name of your studio? This is from a Karen. Karen influenced me on this question. Do you have a name for your studio?
Hi.
Are you there, Snez? What's your studio name, Snez? Have we lost her? We might have lost her.
Sorry, you were just cutting. It's Soundshed Music.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, have you lost me?
No, we got you back now. What's the name of your music studio?
Okay, good. Yeah. Soundshed Music in the Mid-North Coast.
Very good, very good. Okay, cool. We'll come back. So, Karen, what do you wish you could do differently in your career?
Okay, well, my upbringing was we were raised without a dad, and so I was very, very naive and green, totally green as grass, right through my teenage years, and pretty much went out in the big wide world and had to find out a lot of things for myself, and the hard way. But so even as far as having children and raising them and missing out, I missed out on a lot of seeing people my own age out there singing and doing the music scene. I was just a mum at home, and so I was pretty naive when it did come to actually going out and saying, wow, I've got these songs and I can sing, and I want to do something and get out there. It has been extremely hard work, and also as a perfectionist, I strive for excellence. So I try everything I do. I try now because I did not know back then from my naivety, but now I strive for. I look into things, and I've got Google, and but I have to work really, really hard to do everything that I do.
Yeah. Okay. Well said. I like that. So maybe just, what do you say? Maybe enjoy the ride and not work so hard. Is that your message to your younger self?
Well, no, I think that when you're young, if for young people out there, go and listen to other bands, get to know what style of music you want, join that kind of club, and and you just learn so much more, and you also, and like in my songwriting now, I'm doing different things in my songwriting that like different chord structures and changing things about songwriting and making it, thinking outside the box and going, well, how can I be a little bit more different, so that I will have my audience engaged in my song for the whole song, not just for the first 3 seconds. So thinking outside the box, but go and listen to other people of the style that you like of your songs, and honestly, the brain just starts flowing, and you can get these songs out, the lyrics. I mean, I've got hundreds of songs that I've written. As I said when I first came on, not very good at the tune thing, but I've got hundreds of songs that I've written, and the stories, when I go back and read them or give them to other people to read, they go, holy man, you've got to get this
right. Okay. Yeah, so, that's awesome. That's cool.
Yeah.
And maybe Shana, what would you do? Say to your younger self, what would you do different?
I mean, there wasn't much out there when I was younger. Literally nothing. I think that we're in a very fortunate world these days. That we
right.
Yeah, at the top of our hat, like we can produce this EPK and just like that. Whereas in the 80s, it was like tapes and, sing into a tape deck and hope that somebody might hear it. I mean, back then it was 1 out of 10 singers. Now it's 8 out of 10, and it's a lot of competition. Personally, I don't really do it for a larger audience. I do it for me, and I love doing it. Yeah. I love writing, I love singing, and I love singing to people. But, my songs, I believe, are stories, and they're stories of my life. And people who listen to them go, what's that about? And I go, oh, really, you don't want to know, honestly. because it's an intense story, you know, and there's really amazing moments and really terrible moments. I think if I had the chance when I was younger, say, you know, Lucy and Ham's age, that I might have actually made a bit more of a go of it. You know, didn't really make much of a go of it.
You're excluding me being that age, or?
No, I just, you know, I fell in love, and you know, it just took me out of the whole scene, and it was years before I connected again, and since then, you know, things have been on the up and up, but like. There's just wasn't much available back then for me, you know.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's. And maybe Pam, before we get to Lucy.
What I wish I knew.
What would you tell your younger self? Yeah, maybe a couple of words about what would you tell your younger self to do differently?
Honestly, I would tell my younger self to go harder. I've been doing this since before high school. It's been my whole life, and in covers and writing my own stuff, producing other people's work as well, doing festivals. I took life, I want to say, by the balls, and I kind of just ran with it. And I love that I did that. And it may have been reckless because I have 2 children as well, but at least I was honest about what I wanted to do. I knew who I was, and I just went whole for it. Yeah, so I would say do that, and just acknowledge there's no rules in art. So people don't have to, just because someone tells you that this is a song and this is what a song should look like and needs to be, doesn't make it gospel. Your art is your art. And the way that you choose to portray it and connect with people is your signature way of doing it, and that's what makes you an artist.
Okay, very good, very good. Mm-hmm. And Lucy? What would you tell you?
I would say to myself, nothing's for free. When you do a song in a studio, make sure you pay for it, or that you've got some kind of contract. Even if you do a song with another person, I've had many experiences with just making a song with someone, and then it just gets so ugly afterwards, like who owns what. Yes. You just got to be really clear from the beginning when you go into a studio, or if you're going to work with someone, you got to work out what the percentage is of the song that you guys are going to own. Otherwise, you might be all friendly at first, but it's going to get ugly afterwards. And I'm really scared to work with people now because of things that have happened to me in the past. I will work with people, but I have to be clear first. So a lot of people will ask me, let's do a song together. And I always get this kind of like, I mean, like to a point where I'm like a solo artist now. It's like it does my head in, like, and I love playing solo, and I think it really suits me because I can play all these different instruments by myself. I don't need like all this like other people. I just get my own way. I don't need to like.
Oh, you sound so friendly. I don't need these people.
Well, I've been in bands with boyfriends, and don't do that. That's another thing. Don't get in a band.
Very bad idea.
I've done that. I think 3 times. No, not going to do it again. Worst idea. And it's really good. You can make really good music together, and like, yeah, I've been, doing really well with those bands, but it's just like, no. Are you in a band with a boyfriend?
It's me. I did that. No. I'm going to marry him, but
it can work.
Oh man. Okay, so we'll go to Snez now. So last question. So I'll just unmute. Oh, it says I think Snez, you have to unmute yourself. There you go. Cool. Last question then. So we now know what you might do differently, but what was your biggest highlight that maybe not the craziest story, but the biggest highlight that's maybe shifted your paradigm? Maybe something little happened, maybe something massive happened, but it's now your music will be forever different because of this situation. And right on cue, Snez is out.
Am I back?
Yeah. Okay,
there you are.
All right, good. Okay, I'm back. What was the question? I missed the question.
It's all gone.
Oh my God, that got rid of her.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
get her away.
Okay, Karen. So Karen.
That's a
So-
Well, Karen's going to disappear. Everyone's
It's like
but,
spontaneous combustion.
Okay, so you're saying a bit of a highlight which changed everything for me. Okay, back in '95, I went to Revolver Recording Studios. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. It was a huge recording studio in Auckland, and I just wanted to have 6 of the songs that I'd written recorded just for myself, and so I spent a lot of money and got them done and got top musicians coming in, session players came in and made this amazing recording for me. And I think it's then when all of these really top musos were saying how much they actually enjoyed working with me and helping produce these songs of mine. And I think that's what gave me a lot of confidence to write more. And yeah, so that was really a highlight for me, having like top musicians in New Zealand telling me my songs were good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I really like.
That's
So that
awesome.
I guess being associated with people on a different level just wanted you to bring your A game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or Guinness. Yeah. Right. Associating with different level.
You know, I mean, I was really quite a nobody, you know, in music, and for these session players who'd been around for many years, you know, just saying to me, hey man, you know, your music's really good, your lyrics are amazing, and your stories are good. So that gave me my confidence, really.
Yeah, that's awesome. I really like how you said that. I'm just calling Snez to say bye. I don't know what's going on with the telephone, but hello, Snez. Do you want to say bye to everybody? Here we go.
Yeah.
You want to say bye? There we go.
Bye, Snez.
Bye, Snez.
Love your work. Mwah.
Awesome.
Thanks for coming on the show. Thank you.
Oh, no worries. Thanks for having me. It's been fun.
Yeah, all right. Oh, well, I'll see you again next time.
Bye.
Thanks again. See you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Nice to meet you.
Thanks, bye. The wonders of technology. Yeah, that's a great story. So, Shana,
Yes.
actually, I think I've got a question. Good question, Doug. How you come up with them? I just make them up. It must be all the. Oh, God. I'm just passionate, Lisa. You know that. I'm very deep. I'm very deep. Okay, so Shana, what significant event actually influenced you to be who you are? Hey, Rob, he should be rehearsing. Rob, you should be rehearsing, mate.
Significant band or artist? Or
Any of the above. Just what kind of experience maybe shifted you to become a better musician, or just affected your art, your musical art, or artist, and it's now always different.
Yeah, I think Elvis Costello and Joe Jackson really influenced me, even though Joe Jackson plays piano mainly, but it's just the melody, you know, it's just when it tugs at your heartstrings and you've been listening to the same song for the last 40 years, you get sick of playing it, but you never get sick of listening to it. And even today, when I play it, I go, hang on, I'm still not sick of this song. How can that be possible? It's absolutely possible that one song that you sing for 40 years straight can be remembered and can keep being heard. And, you know, it's crazy. It's like when Alicia plays Hoops. I love that song, Hoops. You know, and she might be sick of playing it, but I'm never sick of hearing it. Every time I hear it. And when I do live streaming, I'm like, wow, I'm bored. Like maybe people don't like or get bored with my music. But, you know, it turns out that people are like, oh, I love that song. You know, play that song next time as well. Please keep playing that song. And I'm like, oh, not again. So I think, you know, I think it's good to hear other bands just to sort of help give you that inspiration to up your music, change it up. And I never play, like, I'm not just reggae or just rock or just blues or funk. I'm everything. I play the lot, ballads. And, every song I write, I try and write a different song to the last song.
Okay, different genre and different feel of rhythm section.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's funny. I like how you just brought it up because I actually got to work on the Rob Thomas tour when I was in New York. We were in Atlantic City, and I had a good chat with him because I had an accent, because you have an accent. So Lucy probably gets this all the time, and maybe Karen and Pam, because you got accents compared to Australia, is they tend to talk to you. But I asked him about playing 3 a.m., the song I'm sure everyone's heard a million times. And he said jokingly, I wish I wrote something else, because as an original artist, technically he turns into a cover artist, right? So every single show he has to do it, and it was actually quite cool working with that, because similar to what Lucy was saying before about playing all the different instruments, Rob Thomas is not just a singer-songwriter, like he's a monster drummer. He played everything. But anyway, it was a good story. I like what you said. So Pam, last question. What significant event maybe influenced how you make your art?
A significant event. The thing that sparked it all, it was my first time stage managing a festival, and there's a local legend that I follow quite closely. He's since quit music, much to my dismay. He's just an amazing musician, and I would beg him for tips all the time, and be like, please come play some stuff with me. I just want to listen to things. And I was stage managing this festival, and Sahara Beck was up on stage next, and I'd never heard of her. It was my first experience of it. And he dragged me to the front of the stage, like where everybody's moshing. I'm like, what, man? I've got to be over there where the sound dude is. Like, did you have to? And he just pointed at the stage. He goes, you see that? That's what you need to be doing. And it never sort of like sunk into my head at the time until I looked at what was on the stage, and I'm like, yeah, I do that. Yes, I can play those things. Yeah, I do have a voice like that. All it took was just one person to be like, you could do that. You should be doing that. That meant it sincerely. And that sort of sparked that's when I started to back myself properly as an artist, as a solo artist, and really explore that and start to put things together to make it work. That, or my first sold out festival that I played. So that was with Pete Murray and Mr. Cartwright. That was epic. I'd never had like a half naked lady run to the front of the stage and be like, woo, Pam, play this song. And like, she was definitely off her face, but just the experience of it, all of those people making the crowds move. I know, Lucy, you've done Glastonbury. That feeling, there's not much in the world that I can compare with that, especially when it's because it's your songs, your music, your art. You feel so connected to all of the people.
Yeah, very good. Well, we might sneak Lucy's question in a sec. So Lucy, I can't even remember the question now. I've got all these other beats going on. So what significant event has influenced your life in music?
Well, I was like I said at the beginning, the girl playing the guitar around the campfire was the reason that I wanted to start playing music myself. And then I guess it just keeps growing and growing. And last year when I did my CD release, like I told you before, Main Stage Blues Fest.
Congratulations. That's awesome,
yeah,
man.
Thanks. I was really scared no one was going to come. I was like, oh my God, I've done Blues Fest before, but smaller stages.
So you
I don't
played
know,
the
I just like get really insecure. Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, oh my God, no, how am I going to fill the main stage? Like, I mean, and I was doing it, I did most of the set solo, but I had 2 of my friends sing backup songs on 3 songs. So it was like me and then like this big like arena thing, like tent. And I was like, oh my God, no one's going to come. And then like I start playing and then it starts filling up. And I'm like, oh my God, it's raining. It was like pouring down. And then everyone came in. And I don't know if it was the rain on me, but like it was packed. It was like full. And then and they stayed there for the whole thing and they were like loving it. And it was just like so scary. But like at the same time, it made me feel like I mean, I can do anything now. I've done that alone. I've stood there alone.
So you
and
did
I did the same in Glastonbury. Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
At the
Did
main
Glastonbury
stage,
like the second time. Yeah, and then the second time at Glastonbury was solo, and solo main stage Blues Fest, which is like, wow, I did that and it was packed. It was like, and everyone really enjoyed it. So that was like kind of like another. No, I play like the cajon with my feet, and I've got chimes, and I play the guitar. Kind of, it's like upbeat. It's not all like, oh, thank you.
Well,
and like my songs are kind of like, they change a lot. So because I've been busking most of my life, like that's my main thing, busking. I've learned how to keep the crowd interested. So you can't like let the song get boring. So I've just learned how to kind of do that. So yeah. So if you can busk, you can keep a crowd, you can do the main stage Blues Fest. So that was like really like, yeah, like that, and the crowd fund, and just facing my fears all the time really makes me a better artist. And because you can be really, I can be really self-critical, you know, but it's just like little things like that just makes you realize, yeah, it's all worth it.
So does anyone want to jump on this? Maybe Lucy, from Licia, do you girls have much self-doubt with your music or yourself as an artist? Does anyone actually still, maybe yes or no answer?
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, like
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Probably to a certain point, Doug. They, always wonder if they're good enough, if their songs are good enough, or if their tune's commercial enough to keep a crowd, or all those kinds of things. But the older you get, as probably Doug, Tana, and myself, these two young.
Thank you. Yes.
The top row. We're on the top shelf up here.
I thought I was in the. I just said that.
Top shelf.
Oh, you've had your boot. Now you're on to the next.
Oh, this is Scotch now. We're on the Scotch now. It's top shelf.
Oh, nice. Cheers.
Cheers.
The more.
Sorry, Karen.
The older we get, the more that we start to go, well, it doesn't actually matter what anybody thinks, because this is ours.
Exactly.
This is what I'm doing, and
Yeah.
and at the end of the day, you guys and girls, we know that we've got something that we want to share, and there's not everybody's going to like what we do or what our content is. But then there's, for every one person that does it, there's going to be 1,000 that do love it, and we don't even know that. So the older you get, the less you stress and worry about what people think. Okay?
Yep.
And then if you're still striving for excellence, the big main thing is that you're going to learn by the people and the criticisms that you get. Okay, it's not a negative. Never take it as a negative. Always take, right, what can I take positive out of here? What am I learning? And what can I do that's going to be outside the box that's going to be better? Okay, for my next song. So the older you get, the less you care about what people think, and the more you've learned, so you're going to get it right anyway.
Yeah. Oh, well said. Well, just closing comment. Does anyone actually have any other closing comments? And otherwise, we'll make that a wrap.
Well, just so neat to meet you.
Yeah, I just want to say something like similar to Karen about, I've spent a lot of my life performing, and a lot of the time I've enjoyed it, but then there's been times where, like, if the crowd's not giving me the attention, or say you're playing at a market and people aren't even looking at you, it can really affect you. It can really affect you if you're really sensitive, but I've been working really hard on not letting it affect me. And like what Karen was saying, just playing for the love of it. When you play for the love of it, people feel it. When you're playing for getting something back, people feel that too. So if you're just playing from your heart, people will turn around at a market and listen. When you're not trying, you've just got to always play from your heart and for the love of it. Even if no one's listening, there'll be one person listening that needed to hear it that day. So that's really important to remember that.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Lucy. That's good. I got a comment here from Licia about being, with the self-doubt. So Robert Bull, it's a constant battle until I can turn my brain off and just play. It's hard to tell when a song is good, a good path, or a crap one. So many options, plus getting old doesn't really help my confidence, but thanks for the positive words. I just fake keep going. But if anyone has, Licia is an amazing guitar player, actually.
Absolutely.
So we have to do a video of some shredding, Licia. So I'll sort that out. But anyway, okay. Well, thank you, everyone. But please stay on the line, and we might make that a wrap actually on time for the first time. So here we go. I mean, that's my issue. No one else's. Okay, so here we go. I'll just stay on the line, please. Here we go. Oh, actually, we didn't. Everyone wave. We didn't do the waving thing. Here we go.
Woo!
Shana, what happened? You're now on the bottom. Oh, Lucy's graduated to the top shelf.
Connect 4.
Connect 4. Give me 1 second. Excellent. So thank you very much. I'm Doug De Jong, and this is Make Some Noise. Please like and subscribe and share and share and share and share. Please like and subscribe. All the artists here, amazing stories. And hopefully this has influenced someone else to do something positive in the music world, because that's what we're here and this is what we're all about. Next week, I think the world's actually opening up. So hopefully gigs won't be that far away. So when there's some live music, go and make some noise and enjoy it. See you next time. Actually, see you tomorrow night.